is not something we should feel ashamed of. That's my belief and my strong. I don't think Carl Jung, I'm not a psychologist, so I can't talk about great Jungian work, but to me, it's about healing that split. It's healing the split between this ego that is your persona, that you might not even have a clue you've chosen. Like maybe my persona is the warrior. Maybe I didn't realize, and I didn't even realize that yoga was supposed to be, what is it, Sukham and blah, 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 sweet and steady, or like, all the stuff you learn in a yoga class. Every pose is supposed to be sweet and steady. Okay, so I didn't fully understand that if your breathing in a yoga class is anything more than sweet and steady, you're exerting too much. Well, I was an athlete my whole life. So even when I got into yoga, I didn't understand that those poses, you're supposed to be able to hold them sweet and steady. But if my persona, because of, who knows, the abuse I've been through, if I created a fierce, athletic, strong, capable archetype to protect me, I can't imagine attacking someone for that. That's the persona. We've each chosen a different persona. That's your dominant emotional archetype. That's your ego. And you really might have chosen a persona that's like a little wallflower. And so you're not the one in the room that's got to be at the front, that's stretching out your leg the most, that's got to be. Your persona really might be, I've learned that I do really well by staying at the back of the room and being quiet and not trying to rock the boat and not try to be the warrior. So ego is not the big loud person that always has to be right. Ego is not your ego. Your ego might be preventing you from going for gusto. Your ego might be preventing you from being the one that's overstretching in the yoga class. Your ego might be saying, don't try that. Don't even try. Don't even bother. So to say to someone that idea that ego is always the big loud guy that has to be right, that is not what the meaning of ego is. Ego is the persona. And I just stay away from that word now because it's so loaded that I really just prefer to say, you have a dominant emotional archetype. And those are even just my words. They're a tongue twister. But there's just yes, good. I'm so glad, Sandika, that you're getting it this way because we all just form something. So if I formed, and this is what I was getting at with these archetypes, of course it made perfect sense that if I came from a certain type of upbringing, that if mother is too sexy and mother is trouble and mother drinks alcohol and mother is promiscuous and mother brings different men into the house and those different men abuse their daughters, and that all is just seems like, and I'm not consciously aware of it. But if all of a sudden when I get pregnant and I've gone from being the Miss Galaxy in 1995, February of 1995, how do I become 215 pounds in February of 1996? No, I got my years wrong. 1994, I'm Miss Galaxy, but in 1 year later, I'm over 100 pounds heavier. Why? I got pregnant. It's unconscious. My ego flipped. My ego, my persona became, it's so unconscious. So giving someone shit for the persona that they've chosen is not fair to anybody. We all choose what we believe. And if we believe that this way of showing up is going to keep us safe until we recognize it and say, oh, that's just the way. See, this is why I don't like Messenger. People messenger me on my cell phone while I'm teaching a class. So of course it made sense. I had babies, I gained all this weight. Of course it made sense that it became my, like, I've got to get the weight off. Now I get to be like all the moms. Now we're all like we're all the same. Now all the moms, we all get fat. And then we could all talk about how beautiful we really are if only we could lose weight. And then then you get to be part of the like good mom club. The good mom club can be as beautiful as she wants to be, but the good mom club can't be too fat. You guys might, some of you might be like, what are you even talking about? I never even heard that good. Because that's not what your upbringing taught you. The good mom club might be go to church 5 nights a week and be a Puritan. So when you have children, you go to church 5 nights a week and you'll be a Puritan, because that's the good mom club. Everyone figures out what form of protection. So the work that we're going to do tonight is me like actually realizing that I got that weight off lickety split barba quick, you better believe it. But I still carried this submissive, this shadow over that weight. And here's what's really crazy, is I always say it's so interesting because we normally think that we really hide our shadow well. We really think we do. And the funny thing is, we just hide it really well from ourselves. But usually everybody else can spot it, could actually go, oh, that's like, they wouldn't know to use those terms. They wouldn't know. They wouldn't even think to use terms like, oh, her shadow is the chubby bubby. They wouldn't know that. But here's what you just would have had to ask me at any points in my life. Never before gaining weight. Never crossed my mind to say being fat was an unacceptable thing to be. Never even crossed my mind. I'd never struggled with my weight. Being fat was not even, it was a non-issue. If someone would have said, Crystal looks like she's gaining weight when I was a kid or a teenager, I would have probably laughed because it was just so far removed from, I was an athlete. I had no body fat. I was an athlete. I ran constantly and trained and was just always fit, as the strongest, the most muscular, the most fit. That would have been stupid. It wouldn't even have fazed me. You know when something is a shadow, that if somebody called you it, even if you're not it, it would be one of the worst possible things to be called.